Hello, everyone. It's Chris and I, the one, the only. Well, there's actually several Chris's out there. I'm not sure about Cayman's, but there's no Chris quite like our Chris, and that we're okay with that most of the time. How you doing, Chris?
Good. I'm great, Kevin. I'm doing well.
I say that intro just for you. I
For
customized
better or for worst. I love it.
0.2 seconds before opening my mouth. Hey, Merry Christmas, everybody! It's almost here. And then, of course, beekeeping Christmas, which I guess is the Bee Expo. Some people say it is. Hey, Bonnie, Merry Christmas from Gainesboro. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope that you maybe get some non-beekeeping stuff. But if you're looking forward to beekeeping stuff, I hope you get that too. But honestly, at this point in my career, I'm like, oh, great, black and yellow again. Fantastic. And I get a lot of beekeeping themed stuff, and it's fine. It really is. Lots of folks. David Hunter, thanks everyone who's one of our members. We have several. Jonathan Stevens, of course, we have Edward, and Chris is one of ours. And some of you guys have got the KR already on your little member icons, and Alan Wheeler, several of our members in today, all the way, and just several folks that come in all the time. And so thanks everybody. Hope you have some questions. Yes, Alex, Indiana Beekeeper. I appreciate the reminder. It is locked in. And seriously, that's how, if you want to be remembered, you have to do some stuff like that. At this point in my career with this, I'm used to being wrong quite often. And my wife reminds me of that. And so I'm okay with it. I really am. Part of learning is being wrong and realizing that you can be wrong. I think that's really important with beekeeping, running a show, being married, being a father, and also, Chris has to deal with that a lot because I'm right so often,
All the time.
Yeah, all the time.
I actually have a list right here of all the times you're right.
Oh, nice.
Sorry. That was the flip side. Okay.
That was the flip side. And we've got several other members joining in as well. Hey, that's actually not a bad idea. And post Expo, Chris, we need to do something like that.
We
are
have
just
a lot in the works.
busy right now, but we actually do have some merchandise kind of stuff for that. And we have several long-standing members that we need to do something for. And so, Chris, that sounds like a good project once the Expo's over.
I not so strong. This is my homemade mead. I just sip a little bit while during the thing. It's nice. It's a nice sipper. So
I was fixing to say, if that's straight bourbon, you're going to be completely useless by the time we're 30 minutes in.
No, we're good.
Let's see here. All right. So Gigi Henderson says, I will say WOVA has really exploded, and it has. There's a lot of interaction in there, and a ton. And I've really enjoyed getting to watch it. I don't comment a whole lot myself just because I really don't have the time right now. Laurel and I just got done working on transferring a lot of the gear that we need. There's shelves, there's different displays for the merch booth. Of course, there's all kinds of easels to hold up the signs in front of the speaking rooms for the check-in process. We have probably 150 tablecloths, and just making sure that we have everything, Sharpies, pins, all the lanyards. We have some new pins for this year. I'm really excited about that they can go into your hat or into your lanyard. Those are really cool. And so we're just doing inventory, making sure that we're good, making sure we have some hats and some t-shirts. We did get the t-shirts and hoodies, but we're not doing a pre-order this year. We do have some new designs courtesy of Chris and Laurel's ingenuity. And so those will be available at the show. And we do have some, about 30% of them, maybe a little less than that are actually branded 2026. So anyone who's really wanting those, you probably want to get on top of those. But the other designs are really cool too. And so I think there's a lot of good options. We have a lot of hoodies this year. We did get more hoodies because we sell out of the hoodies every year. And I really enjoy my red one. It's a good, it says Cardinal, but it's really Roll Tide red. That's what they meant to say. By the way, sorry, anyone from Oklahoma, not so sorry. No one's more surprised than I am, though, after the way they played the last few games. So Yeah,
Yeah.
might have some
Hey,
new stickers as long as they're not Cayman stickers. They are approved.
I did see. I love the wizard juice. It's good. It's a good inside joke. Vic, you said members of what? So we have an app, the Wova app, and so
Should they
we
be
are an
talking?
event on the app. So if you don't have the app yet, and you are a ticket holder and you do not still have the app, please reach out to me and I can make sure that you're able to get on. There's being a small group that as we are a small company. There's a lot of limitations to that, and there's positives and pros and cons. But one limitation is that we use several different pieces of software to accommodate our goals and also to accomplish them, obviously. And so one downside is that our ticketing app and our the mobile app that everyone can sign into, they're two different things. And so there were a lot of issues flat moving all the tickets over, and so there's been a lot more complications than I wanted, than anyone
Sure.
else wanted, and the team wanted. So just bear with us. We'll get you in though. So
Oh, and so two things. One, we're going to be sending out an email tomorrow with a lot of information about various things. So be on the lookout. It could the problem that we're having. It's not from a lack of work on our end. I know that that's what everyone would say, but really, we have purchased new email software and different platforms. We've tried several different methods to get emails to people, and it's going to promotions tabs in your email. Some people are finding it there. Sometimes it's going to spam, and sometimes people aren't checking their email. And then there's some folks who entered a certain email that's not their common one for the tickets, and there's some folks, and this doesn't happen a lot, but I would say it happens probably 1 to 2 times out of 100 people, where they're entering their own email address incorrectly, and that's all we have to go on. And so we're going to be sending out an email with a lot of different information about the expo, and we're going to be sending one out, I would say, once per week between now and the expo.
Yep.
So be checking your email that you used for your ticket. And it'll have a lot of different information that'll be useful when you get there, when you're getting product from vendors, and other tidbits, just so that you have more fun. I think, though, Vic may have been talking about the memberships on the actual YouTube channel. And so we do have some folks that are members of our YouTube channel, and we do really appreciate them. And obviously, we still produce content and stuff for everybody, but several people have chosen to support us in that way and keep Chris in a job, and we do really appreciate that.
Chris appreciates that.
So Jonathan Stevens has a question here, and it unfortunately, once the event's over, that will they keep it up for like a month, maybe?
Yeah, I don't have the exact date off the top of my head, but it's around a month. Then it will freeze. The good news that I can confirm, and we haven't hid this from anyone, but we'll announce, is that we do have this for next year as well. But it does go event by event. So all of this stuff, and I don't mean that in a bad way, all the comments and groups and everything, I don't believe there's a way to just transfer that over, because every single person likely will not be at one event that's at the other one. So there's a really great chance, though, we're going to open up the app earlier next year and give people longer to work on that. So that's a really good bet that we'll open the app up earlier next year. So
Sure. And so a suggestion that I would give, we're gonna do tickets like an extra, like we did the gold passes last year. We've been talking about opening that up like in February. And for one reason in particular, so that as soon as we get a bunch of people signed up, we can open up the app early. And then let's say 1,000 people want to get the earliest best price. We can go ahead and start sending the app to those folks. And so those folks can be talking with the app all year long, start building those relationships and planning for things. And and thanks for saying that. Isn't that really cool? It is really neat to be able to make a schedule and agenda. So we're wanting to be able to do that. And so for some folks are like, well, I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be able to come to the expo or not. What I'll say about that is it was $175 back in May to get a ticket. And now it's more expensive than that. And we used to not do that so much, but we have to do that for our own sanity's sake, because we have to be able to estimate how many people that we have.
Yeah.
We have to be able to give head counts to the Expo Center and to various other entities. We also have to have the badges, have to know how many event guides, how much staff to have, just all kinds of different things. And
Yeah.
and everyone's busy. And I'm the same way. If I don't have an incentive, I usually procrastinate towards the last
Sure.
minute, and unless Laurel handles it and then it gets done
And
properly.
well, and again, and when we get it, stuff comes up. Yesterday was the last day for any type of refund. Starting today on, unfortunately, the tickets are non-refundable. But all to say that beforehand we've a lot of people, they have a medical problem or a family problem or a work problem, and so that's part of it. So if you buy a ticket and you do end up having a problem, until this year, until December 20th, you were able to get a refund back minus a ticketing fee. So, that's definitely something you can consider next year as well. So,
Hey, Joey. Well, thanks for coming. And I think you'll really enjoy yourself. If you love bees, this is the place to really go for a conference. That's what we're trying to make it as, anyways. And what we were talking the other night with some of other YouTubers and people who have come to our event that aren't YouTubers, but we're on a live stream, is what makes the Bee Expo special is there's so many events within the event. There's so many cool people that aren't just the VIPs. There's a lot of people who aren't VIPs that are just really cool people who invent products that are really useful and neat for beekeepers. There are content creators there. There's folks that you may have seen online, and there's a bunch of opportunities, especially if you're someone who likes to just chat it up. There's a lot of friendly people at this expo. And speaking of that, there's some new additions. One of them is the North American Honey Bar, and we have received several honeys. I want to say a big thank you to the honeys that we've received so far. I've got a little list here, and there's more on the way. Let's see here. So we received 2 jars of honey from Glacier Ridge Apiary in Alaska. And so that looked really delicious. And there wasn't a name on the box, but I don't have the form up, but I want to say thanks to Glacier Ridge Apiary. Oh, the McDades. Oh, well. Sorry, Joey.
they make some of that funny honey down there.
Yeah. David says sorghum's better than honey. So it is. You're right. You can't believe everything that David says, but he means well. He just was dropped as a child. Apis, Apis Supply from Texas sent up 6 jars that look like they're about a little under a pound a piece. So we have some nice Texas honey. And what these are made up of, that's actually, I don't have the different types for most of these unless it said on the jar. We got 2 jars from Pennsylvania that spotted lanternfly, which some people are already dealing with over there. So people will get to try that and see what that's like. It's more honeydew honey. Most of the folks say it's pretty good if there's actually a good bit of honey with some spotted lanternfly. It's supposed to be surprisingly medicinal. But it is interesting. So you'll get to try that from Pennsylvania. And also from Pennsylvania, we got honey from Kurt Dean. And he sent a jar of his wildflower. We got some from Highland Honey out of Wisconsin. We got a quart jar from A.V. Daniels out of Michigan. And a jar of Colorado Star Thistle from Rocky Mountain Bee Supply. And so I've had Star Thistle before. That's a really delicious honey. And all of these just look really good. And we have more on the way, a bunch from Canada. I want to say thank you to Apa Verte, which is Sandra and her husband's booth. They be looking out for that. It's a giant hive that's kind of a different version of the AZ style hive, I believe, kind of a more user-friendly version of that. And it's massive, and they're bringing that all the way from Canada. So definitely check out the Apa Verte booth, and they're collecting a bunch of Canadian honeys to bring to this. And so what this is an opportunity for all of you guys that are coming to be able to go around and just take a little sampler and try different honeys. If it's a spotted lanternfly, if it's some of sourwood from Kentucky, some of the sourwood from Bob Benny. And, Kurt Dean's in the house. Well, thank you, Mr. Dean. I appreciate that very much. We do have some from California. We're trying to get about 8 pounds from every state or province. We think that's probably what it's going to take to have enough for both Friday and Saturday. This opens up Friday morning. We'll be setting it up Thursday. So, any of those of you who are bringing honey for it, we really want something that's about a pound. We do have a form. Chris, do you mind hunting that down and
Yeah.
dropping that?
Sorry, I was looking to see. We do have a couple entries from California. That's what I was trying to read this. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, and we do. We have some orange blossom from California. I know we have some orange blossom, and I know that we have some wildflower that one of our workshop folks, Kara Ching, is bringing down. I'm not
Uh,
sure.
here's a real quick. I just want to shout this out real quick. So this we were actually talking about this on staff. In the Midwest here, there's obviously, you'd assume that there's a lot of entries from Tennessee, Kentucky, Ohio. The answer is no. So we don't need 100 different jars from Tennessee per se, but I would say go online. Here's the form. Enter the form. We have an awesome staff helping out with this. Paula specifically is taking the reins on this, and she'll be able to get back to you and let you know. But more than likely, I think about every state needs more. I don't think we have any state yet that is at a pause. I'll say that. So
Yeah, there's only a few states that are solid.
Speaking of Paula,
yeah, hey, that's our coordinator for the honey bar, and Paula's doing a fantastic job. And keeping it really organized. And so if you can even just bring a pound to represent your state, or even if you have a 10-ounce round jar, we do prefer glass for a lot of reasons other than them breaking and shattering into a million pieces. But don't worry, we've dealt with that before. We've actually had a couple bottles of mead drop one time, and that smelled great. Speaking of which, in the silent auction, anybody who wants to donate towards that would be fantastic as well. All of that goes to the kids. One thing to look for in that, because Chris brought it up kind of with his cup of mead, is every year we have people who enter into the black jar competition of our show, and some people don't pick it up, and that's fine. It's not a very big container. A lot of times it's yay big. And so we get a bunch of those left over, and the honey show judges take that back and they turn it into mead, and they sock some away. And so there's some of it now that dates back to 2022 that they've been doing.
That's awesome.
And so they bring a couple jars each year, and they enter that in the silent auction to raise money for the kids. So if you are really into mead, it is really top-notch mead as well. So definitely.
Real quick, I want to jump in here at the silent auction. So just a couple, just to go over a little bit of silent auction information. If you haven't joined us yet on the website, let me pop this up real quick. So our website, which everyone should have, but I'll post it here in the chat in just a moment. On here, we have all of our stuff here on this lovely website. I'll throw it in the chat just in case. There we go. And on the website, though, we were talking about the silent auction. So with the silent auction here, we do have an online sign-up form. We're just asking people to sign up ahead of time just so we can have a lot of the stuff ready for it. And if you're not able to do the sign-up online, if you can print your form and bring it with you, that'll help. Last year, we raised over $17,000, and all the proceeds just go directly to the NextGen program.
Yeah, and a lot of that goes towards their hotels. $300 per kid, which isn't always enough to get them through. We started that 5 years ago. We need to probably look at raising that number up to help them. It's expensive bringing kids to events like this. Of course, their men, their guardian get a free ticket. They get, some merchandise, T-shirts and various things. We also make sure they get some other gear and some special sessions for them. But yes, if you could help with this program, we're bringing in some of the best kids in the country, and definitely don't forget about it for next year, because if there's some kids that teenagers that love beekeeping, doesn't matter if they're in the United States, Canada, somewhere else, we're interested in just helping youth. So.
Yeah. So, and here, real quick, you teed me off here. So 3 years ago, Yeah, 3 years ago we had 28 at the first B Expo. We had 28 young men and women as ambassadors in the Next Gen program. This year, or excuse me, last year we had 41, and this year we have 60. And just to go through, we had over 75 applications, 18 different states. Of the 60 applicants who were chosen, only 19 of them were returning. And we have 36 young men and 24 young women. So it's a really exciting group of people. Obviously, lots of different backgrounds, lots of different. I know some of them are part of the FFA. So it's very, very exciting. And so, again, going back to not only the Next Gen program, but also the silent auction, whether you can donate to the silent auction, if you're great at, if you're like Mary Ann and Larry Sears and awesome at making these beautiful wooden chests. It wasn't a chest. It was a like a dresser of sorts.
Yeah, there's a table. Of course, they make a lot of cutting boards and various other stuff like that. And
or some people donate just a gift card. Some people will, so if you're able to give in that way, that's awesome. If you'd rather give by purchasing one of the items in the silent auction, that's great too.
Oh yeah, we definitely need that.
Yeah. So we just appreciate that.
So, Bob has this to say: first timer and save more money through purchases on pre-orders with various vendors to pay for the tickets, and that's the goal. We, not everybody can haul gear away. Some people are flying in. However, this year, Man Lake has a secondary booth where if you see something that's like, wow, this is a great price, they actually have some shipping rates too. And so you can reach out to them or talk to them at the show. And for those of you who are in California, Canada, they'll ship. Now, if you're, Azerbaijan, I probably not. Sorry, if you're coming from there. But if you're in, the U.S. and Canada, they can ship your product from the show to your address. If you just find something unique, maybe it's something that you can't order online. There are some things like that at the event. So definitely, if you need that, stop by Man Lake and take advantage of that free service. As far as they'll do that for you, and then there's a shipping rate. Yeah,
I was just gonna say, careful,
yeah.
Man Lake's gonna be like, what are you doing to us? Yeah, so that's their booth is up in the top of the expo above coffee and everything. In the vendor storage, their booth number is 888, and that's just for the shipping. So yeah, we've had a lot of people ask about that, like, hey, I only packed so much room, or I only have so much room, and I ended up wanting to buy this or that. They'll work with you and help you to get that done. So.
All right, so let's circle back to the honey bar because we have a few questions. So yes, you can still drop off the honey for the honey bar on Thursday, and that is correct. We do ask that everyone fill out the form just because that really helps us be able to advertise it a little bit better and display it better for the show, and also know what to expect. And we do really appreciate that because, it's just a lot of different honeys, 8 jars from every province and every state. And we won't get there, but there's a lot of states that are thin. There's several states in New England, like New York. Maybe that's not considered New England, but that's close enough for me. And there's just several states where we really need a couple more jars, and this is our first year. So there's going to be some thin areas. And we're still missing honey from Oregon, Arizona, Idaho, Nevada, Utah, Connecticut, and Rhode Island.
So if you're in one of those places, or someone in one of those places, and you want to bring their honey, we had this discussion before. There's a lot of people, we'd love to have a specific type of variety, but realistically, we know a lot of people don't necessarily separate it into one. So we know that there's going to be a lot of like wildflower. But a wildflower in Kentucky or Tennessee is going to be a lot different than a wildflower here in Northwest Ohio. So don't feel like you have to have some, one-of-a-kind honey. Your honey is one of a kind. So
yeah, it just might not be good, but it'll be one of a kind. Moving on. So, I wanted to say thanks to Leonard and Dolly representing Colorado with their star thistle honey, and they're also they sell all kinds of product and stuff as well, so definitely be looking out for them. How are the items auctioned off in the silent auction? So there's going to be some really cool boards with some papers, and basically we'll start the bid off like if the item's worth let's say $50, it'll probably start the bid around 35 or something like that, and people will bid on that in increments of $5. And the goal is to raise money for the kids. Some items go for less than what they're valued, but some of them end up going way beyond what they're valued because people just really want to support the youth.
So real quick, the silent
Mhm.
auction. So this is the entire space that we have here. So I'm going to zoom in over here. So this is the silent auction down the hallway here. So we'll have tables all the way down. These are the lecture halls, the North American honey bars here in the main entranceway, the trade show. So down the lecture halls, the speaker hallway there, you'll have the silent auction. Then you'll also have the honey swap here in B107. And then someone asked about the last day of the silent auction. So actually, if you go to the website, it talks through, winners will be announced starting at noon on Saturday. So I believe at noon is when the papers are pulled. Is that correct?
Yeah, noon the papers are pulled, and that whoever's the last person to have bid on it is the winner.
Yep. So it's exciting. We're and again, all the proceeds go right back to the kids. So,
well, we usually spend a few $1,000s in addition to that. I'd say this year there's probably going to be around 20,000 that goes actually into the kids, which is fine. We want to help these boys and girls. Some of them are earning 100 high. Some of them are giving classes at schools and doing several other events, going to state fairs, and some of them are doing our honey show and other honey shows. And so these are our future leaders in the industry is the way we look at it. And the ones that weren't accepted, typically that is because they've only been beekeeping 3 or 4 months. And so it's not because we don't want them. We always tell them to reapply, but this is really for young men and women who are, we know beyond a shadow of a doubt, they're very serious about beekeeping because they're pretty established into it. And that's where we would like to invest that capital. Because, there's just some kids that get into it and they decide this isn't for them. And so, 4 months into it, you really don't know yet. Apa Verte, this is Sandra with Apa Verte. And hi there, we're bringing honey from Nova Scotia, Newfoundland. Is it Quebec or Quebec? We say Quebec down here.
Quebec,
and so
yeah.
Depends on
like
which Canadian you're talking to, French Canadian, whatever other Canadians there are up there, Northern Ontario, and more. So we're super excited about that, and we have a few other Canadian honeys coming as well. So this is just going to be a smorgasbord of flavors from around the country.
So that's a big word for you.
It is a big word for me. I was homeschooled, man. I read all the books, like Charlotte's Web. See, you don't even know what that is. Not much. That was not the one I meant to click. So I'll take it. You got Tennessee honey covered.
We already addressed that.
Did you really?
Yeah, that's what we just talked about. Here, I wanted to address this one. So about the 2-ounce bears given away. So just as a reminder, we do have the honey swap as well. Whether you know this, Jerome, bee farm or not, but we do have a honey swap. You can go down here again on our website, honey swap, and all the details are here. Backpacks are allowed in the expo, certainly. But there's, I know there are some people who carry around honey to swap, but a lot of times there's not necessarily a great opportunity to have that. And so this is a great, de facto way to drop them off, again, following all the rules next door here. And then you'll receive some back.
Jerome's been multiple times. I think he knows how the honey swap works. I think he's just curious about the backpack. But you don't know Jerome like I do. I know him well. He forgot a bunch of stuff at the show last year, and it took me about 3 months to ship it to him or more.
Perfect.
But I did get it to him eventually. Maybe it was 4 months. It was a while. But yeah, you can if you want to find some folks yourself to share it, swap with, or just hey, good to talk to you. Here, try some of our honey. Totally allowed at the event. Oh, yeah, we have Ian Stepler, Canadian honey. You better put a spoon beside my honey at the bar because that's how it's eaten up here. Yeah. We can't put a spoon. We'll have people just horking that down, and we want let everybody to have some. So we'll put some micro spoons or something, like Rhode Island size spoons.
Is he sending us a 55-gallon barrel, or what's he doing?
No, he's not sending us a drum.
Not a drum?
No, it's worth more if you send it in smaller containers. By the drum, it's not that good on price. But I do really appreciate you doing that, Ian. Bob and Ian Stepler and Michael Palmer are all contributing honey to this honey bar. And we have, of course, a ton of other people who are on YouTube and also a bunch of folks that have been with us for several years, since before we were called the Bee Expo, and contributing to this honey bar. So this is going to be really special. And it's just our first year, and it was last minute. I didn't learn about this idea. And you got to give credit where credit is due. I saw it at Appomondia, and they had the global honey bar, and I really thought it was cool. And so the problem was that was only like a few months ago, so we've just kind of thrown it together last minute. But this is the North American honey bar, and so therefore it's got to be loud and it's got to be proud, because that's how we do it over here. The Europeans can never be louder and prouder than we are. Let's see, doing the swap as well. So one of the things that I've talked to Paula with, and anyone who's coming from Australia or a different country that's not North America, we are going to have a small section for that. So if you're coming to the expo and you're not from the US, Canada, Greenland, Mexico, any of the other Central American, Belize, the Dominican, all that kind of stuff, any of those North American areas, you can still contribute your honey. And so there's a lot of North America. Well, people they get onto my case. They're like, you do know that there's more North American areas than the United States and Canada. I'm like, well, yes, I do. And I actually probably can name more than you can. However, we started this like a month and a half before the expo. So I told Paula we would try not to give her any gray hairs over it.
Go too crazy, yeah.
Right. And I think she's already realizing that I'm not living up to my word. So here's a comment. Chris, that might be better for you to answer.
Yes. Yeah. I actually replied to them already. But and I did. It's okay. So anyone who is having any issues, my email has been, I'll throw it in the chat again. Please reach out. Again, there's just two different systems going on, so I'm happy to get you in. There's been some people we can send a video to, and they're good. Other times, the account, it's just a computer being the computer.
Keep going, Chris.
Yeah, gosh, we had one gentleman who was trying to buy tickets to the to our dinners, and I worked with him for almost an hour, and nothing worked. And later that night, he tried it again, it worked. So again, it's if the direction of the wind changes, sometimes that works. While Cayman's chasing his bees around his yard real quick. One thing to touch on, so dinner tickets. We are having 2 different dinners for the Bee Expo that are ours. Certainly there are several other awesome dinners that are happening, but these are the 2 ones that we are putting on. And a big thank you to Andrea. She's our coordinator for the dinner. She's doing awesome. We did sell out of the Beehive Barbecue. That is on Thursday. All the tickets for that are sold out at this point. But we do still have a small handful of tickets to Wednesday's Buzz and Banter. So if you go to the website, go to dinner tickets. Again, Buzz and Banter, this is on Wednesday evening. If you click on the event, it'll tell you exactly what the menu is, how much tickets are, all that kind of stuff. So if you are interested in doing that, I would say getting your ticket very soon is very important. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at the thing in front of me. Yeah, I'd say probably by the end of this week, we will be turning in numbers and shutting off tickets. So if you want...
if you want to attend the Wednesday night event.
Yeah, thanks, Jeremy. I'm aware. I'm acutely aware of this phenomenon. So.
I remind him all the time. But yeah, the Wednesday night event will be a lot of fun because it's going to be a lot smaller than the Beehive and Barbecue, and both of them are going to be a decent size. Beehive and Barbecue will be around 300 people.
Yep.
With all the VIPs and our staff, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The Buzz and Banter was originally designed for the vendors, but we decided to open that up also to, and the VIPs, of course, but also 50 attendees. We've opened it up for 50 places within the Buzz and Banter. If anyone is coming in early and they don't have plans and want to hang out with us, you're more than welcome to do that, but there's just 50 spots, and some of them have already sold. So anyone that has any...
It is going quick.
Right. Anyone that has any questions about the the Bee Expo or anything else, just keep dropping them in the comment because I see more people have come in. And so if you have questions, keep bringing them. I did want to show this, Chris, because this is what the North American Honey Bar is all about. Here is a jar from Quebec, I believe it is. Is there any Canadians that can help me out here?
Oh, God, you're not.
Yeah, so is that Quebec right there?
Hopefully you're not doxing these poor people. Hopefully that is a public label. Hopefully that's not their, like personal address to their home stoop.
It looks like it's their business.
I'm hoping so.
But this is, basically how, the North American Honey Bar is going to work.
What? You're just going to start sampling now?
That was very nice. It's got a nice scent there. And so you just take it like that, and voila, you flip
a single
it.
Dip. Please.
Yeah.
We're gonna say it, but like one stick per person per dip, please. Like I know that's common sense, but you'd be surprised.
Give us really good.
What's it taste like? Give us like the wine,
And we don't want a big mess either, right?
Yeah, amen to that.
And so, because Chris's grandparents are going to be monitoring this, and Chris was their grandchild. He knows what it's like.
Yeah,
that's why his head's so flat on top.
Listen, if they have to put someone over their knee, they're not above that. So
yeah, they're that generation, man.
Yeah. Hey Vic. So total attendance right now, we're actually, we're looking at about 300 or so tickets above where we were last year.
Right
now, we're there.
Yeah, we're over that actually.
So, okay, I haven't looked in the last day.
Yeah. Well, so we're estimating between what we usually sell at the door and between now and then, it's going to be about 500 people. No less than 400 people more than what we had last year. So I'd say about 3,500 attendees. You have about 500 vendors as far as vendor staff and stuff, and then you have all of our staff and all the other stuff. And so this is definitely going to be a 4,000 plus person event this year. So it's going to be quite lively. It's going to be a lot of fun. No double dipping. Well, honey is antimicrobial, antifungal. Come on. Yeah, no double dipping. Tom Sossman, we're talking to you. All right.
Yeah, I'm seeing all these awesome purchases for the Buzz and Banter. So, thank you guys. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. We're looking forward to spending time with you, Bob. I'm really looking forward to that because typically we don't plan something like that out. And so being able to see some of the vendors, see some of my staff more, and of course, Bob and several of the other speakers like Randy McCaffrey, and other VIPs that are going to be there. It will just be a lot of fun. All right.
Hey, this is an easy one. This is a good one. Oh, yeah, here real quick. Yes, I just saw the ticket go through, so thank you so much. So here, we'll answer this one. This is a real good one. Except they can't see. There we go. So is there a printable speaker schedule? Yes, and it's super, super simple. So if you go up, again, to the website, go to the Bee Expo, click on schedule. I'll just do a really quick explain on this. So this is a widget that's part of the app. And so what's really neat is when you click on this, it's going to actually show you the entire schedule. So on the right-hand side, you'll see we have something called tracks this year. So these are like the subjects of each talk. So it defaults to showing all of them. So you are able to just click all and it'll hide them. And if you're only interested in hive management, you can click through and see those. If you're only interested in apitherapy by chance, again, there's no apitherapy talks on Thursday, but we have some on Friday. So there are ways to kind of sort all of that. Now, to get back to your question here about a printable schedule. So while you're here on the page, unfortunately, there's no way to sort it. It just gives you everything. But if you click the little print button right here, right next to the phone here, if you click that and give it a second here, it's going to load. It actually creates a new one for each person. It's very efficient in that way. But give it a second, and once it loads up here, it actually gives you a really nice printable schedule. Again, you cannot filter it. It gives you everything, but you could certainly go in and highlight it. You will be getting a schedule like that for free in your, well, that's 2 years ago, but in the Expo guide, as we have in years past. So we will be having the schedule and everything else like that. So that is an option if you would like to check that out when we get there. So, but like I said, there is a great way for you to do the print schedule there and go on from there. So,
all right. So, yes, we got a printable schedule. We're going to have a lot of fun, a lot of evening stuff. Shauna, my granddaughters can use one chip for multiple dips. Oh, they would be excited. Yeah, well, please
keep them at home.
Again, thankfully, honey is one of the most sanitary things. Yeah, Laurel just asked me if I was okay. I haven't been okay in like 30 years. What are you talking about? No, I'm talking.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't visited the website, we do get a lot of questions and we love to answer questions, but we really have tried to do our best to answer all these questions. Oh.
Yeah, I just got a request from Sandra.
Oh.
Unless it's her husband. Can you go ahead and put that on the full screen just for a second?
Yeah, they can see it.
Mm.
I'm assuming this is a B, like a batch elder or whatever. Like the B is part of the title.
That's actually their last name. Yeah, but you're right.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's nice. That's a nice little touch there. Real quick before we get into that. So if you go to the website and go under About, if you don't know our staff, you can click on About Staff and you can click through and read a little bit about each of us. I didn't put much about my love of Mickey Mouse, but he is in my photo. I guess along with my family. But under FAQ here, we have lots of answers to everyone's questions that they're asking. Those are all right there. And so those are a great way to see, when the doors open, when they close. One thing that's changed this year, the vendor hall on Saturday only, we'll be closing at 5 and not 6. And so we're closing the vendor hall 1 hour early just on Saturday to let the vendors hopefully be able to get a little bit of their sanity left. So again, if you have any questions that aren't answered here or forget something, please head over to the website. We really do try to add. And if we get questions that we haven't answered before, we'll answer them. And then typically we throw them back on the FAQ here. So,
well, we're excited about many things. We have some great talks. The opening ceremony, I think I have a few announcements to make during that time that we haven't talked about. I've kind of saved it for the show, and we have a lot of really good speakers and a lot of work to do. And there's just a lot of things going on in this industry right now that we're working towards outside of the Bee Expo. It's part of the reason my voice is half gone is I'm on the phone with people with the USDA and the EPA, not so much like the directors of that, but people who work for them and deal with them and just try to solve some of these problems that we have. Let's say one of you all wanted to create an organic miticide. It just costs so much money. Unless you were loaded already, you can't afford to do that. And we need to fix that in this industry. We should be able to get more natural things. It doesn't even have to be a miticide. It could be something that's an antiviral. There could be a natural supplement that maybe comes from an herb or something like that, and it really thrashes viruses and keeps them from reproducing. But it would cost, a couple $1 million just to get it approved, and then, even more money to manufacture it and get the inventory and all the other stuff. And this is just not the biggest industry in the world. It's an awesome one, but we need to be able to do several more things to keep things as natural as possible. And that's something that I really want to see as someone who likes to grow organic foods and stuff and eat organic foods. I understand there's some stuff with organic stuff that's not always good. For example, like when you go to California and this field that's 15 feet away from this other field, this one's certified organic, and this one they're dropping all kinds of heavy artillery on it, so to speak. That's kind of not organic to me. But with our bees, we want to keep them as naturally as possible. We're all trying to produce health food products here, is the way I look at it. It's what I got into it because honey wasn't just delicious; it was also healthy. And so we want to be using stuff that's clean, and it's very difficult to get new stuff, even though there are stuff that we know of right now that are being used that are very natural and they're more effective, and we can't. So, Kevin Tuttle, I'll just,
Yeah.
I have several things to announce on the opening ceremony and some people to highlight. Is there a designated area where pre-orders will be picked up, or do we coordinate with each vendor?
I can answer that. Give your voice a rest. Yeah, so every single vendor will have different things. So different times, different places. So the only company who has a double booth this year is Premier. They have a booth where they're selling things, and they do have a pickup booth dedicated for that. So they're the only vendor who actually has a dedicated second booth. But some vendors are telling people, hey, you can only come. We are going to be doing pickup from this time to this time on this date. Other vendors, if they haven't communicated with you, then I would just assume that you can show up and get it. I would definitely communicate with each vendor that you have orders with, especially a larger order that they're holding it for you, that they don't assume that you didn't come and they're going to sell it again. That should never happen. But it's better to communicate with that vendor than not. So hold on, I did want to answer another question. Some people are asking about.
I just wanted to say, hey, Kathy, that's really funny. And that's the way I feel. I'm so super hyper competitive, and it's something that my mother had to work with me for years over. And to this day, I really struggle to do anything not over the top, especially like board games. Everyone's like, it's just for fun. I'm like, I only have fun when I win.
Yeah. Hey, and we'll that's a great idea, Kathy. We'll definitely come up with something for next year. And Cayman just let the cat out of the bag. Board games. We are going to be having a brand new board game, bee themed, at the expo. You'll be able to try it out and purchase it in the back of the trade show next to the coffee. So that's going to be something really fun. The boys will be there. So
what's the name of it again? It's a cool
Festoon.
Name. Yeah, Festoon, which is a cool beekeeping term, I think.
Yeah. So Doug asked about pre-buying. So I just kind of wanted to show you guys. This is wild, and without throwing this entire company under the bus. So the parking. So if you go to KEC parking, if you just type into Google, it'll tell you exactly what to do, which is basically come to gate 1 here and pre-purchase it. But if you actually type in KEC parking, there is a website out here. It's called Park Mobile. You find the app and you're like, great, let's click on Thursday the 8th. When you click on it, you can currently only reserve a one day, one use pass. Oh, you're going to spoil that? I didn't think you were going to spoil that. Look at you.
I'm waiting to hear what you have to say.
That wouldn't fit on me. That's what I was going to say. That wouldn't fit on me. That maybe not fit on my daughter. So
it reminds me of Elmer Fudd and Looney Tunes, where Bugs Bunny rips his shirt. Eddie Scott that. He's like, I'm sure plenty of you men wear one of these.
Yeah. So pre-buying stuff. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, they make it so difficult to pre-purchase. I don't know what's going on with it. We've asked them. They don't really know. It's another company. It's this whole thing. So my advice is to buy the multi-pass. Now, just a note, if you've never been before, when you go to park, there are 2 different things you can do. You can buy a 1-day, 1-in, where it means you literally get in one time. And if you have to leave for lunch or anything else, you have to pay again. So depending on what you're thinking of doing, it might be good for you to buy the multi in and out, and then that way you don't get stuck with paying for parking twice. So that is that. Did Cayman freeze on us, or am I frozen? I'm just going to assume that Cayman's frozen because it looks like he's frozen on the thing too. So here's a great one. So Cayman will come back at some point. So 3D printed items, if you're giving something away there's a very fine line between being, oh, there goes Cayman. There's a very fine line between, this is my channel now. He's going to come in and kick me in the shin. There's a very fine line between being a friend and giving something away and being a company and giving it away to other people. You know, there are a lot of vendors who pay a lot of money and travel here and spend a lot of their time and effort to be a vendor. And so we go out of our way to ensure that no one else is undercutting them or not paying the vendor fees and everything else they're doing just to give something away to people. So I would just caution you. I'm not going to accuse you of doing that, just kind of as a little heads up. Cayman doesn't fit either. Oh, here comes Cayman. He must have, you know what happened? He had his suit on and he went like this and it broke the computer.
Yeah.
Right?
It just couldn't stand the trauma of this little vest on a little guy. So I did want to do a little plug here. I'm not going to be showing a whole lot of details right now, but I am going to be showing this at the show, unless I may let John Hill show it at his booth. But I may do. I'm probably going to do it at mine. It'll just be simpler, probably, to do it that way. I think everyone who deals with hot weather beekeeping should check this out at the show. It will be active, and you'll get to feel how cold this is. There's several ways that this helps keep you really cool, and it has nothing to do with the vest. This just keeps it on to you. But it's got a couple different ways of cooling your body down, and I tried it at Appomondia, and I was wearing a long sleeve shirt, and it was really making me cold through my long sleeve shirt. And so I'm thinking if I wore this under my bee suit, I was just super excited. Of all the product I saw there, I was really excited about this. So much so I've been in contact with them, and they sent me this model to showcase at my show. And likely we will be selling them, and I may not be selling them myself, but I will definitely be pointing you all in the direction of who is distributing them. And it'll likely be John Hill and possibly some other companies. We're still working out the details on that. Some people ask why John Hill, because I can always count on John to do what he says. It's really that simple. I've dealt with a lot of companies. There's a lot of good ones, but some of them just don't have the capabilities to do what I need to do. That's why John Hill is doing the semi-load of global patties.
Now you're starting to make it sound like he's a pawn in your chess game.
Well, I mean, everyone has their use, and John's a pretty simple guy.
He's gonna hurt you. He's gonna sit on you.
I'm not scared of John. I can outrun him.
Hey, someone, Jeremy asked if it's available in yellow.
It's not available in yellow at this time. I will put in a request. Maybe I'll get it in a toilet bowl orange, which is where Tennessee's going to play their bowl game. Isn't that right?
Yeah,
Something like that.
okay.
The toilet bowl.
Real quick, Edward, I saw a couple people ask about food. I don't have that answer. I will get the answer and I will post it as soon as I get it, because God only knows how many vacation days and holidays these people get at the Expo Center. I hope they're not listening. How many days they're going to check their email between now and our Expo? But I will get the answer for you, and I will post the food available, at least the names of the restaurants, in the FAQ. So thank you for the reminder. There's a brand new company with all of this, and so it's been a process. That's the nicest way I'll say it. So,
and not the Nick Saban type of process either.
I believe that's not even a process. I believe the ice cream is there. But I will not guarantee that. Again, this is a brand new company. They brought in everything new. So I will post when I find it. I'll post it in the Facebook group, but I will also post it in the FAQ as soon as I have it.
And they told us that it would be, but that's things have changed since then, and we haven't heard that they won't be. Yeah. But we just can't count on these guys right now. That's just where we're at. Hey, Cayman, will you be attending the Highs for Heroes dinner Friday night? I really want to. I wanted to last year. I tentatively am planning to go, but that doesn't mean I'll make it. Last year I had to change a tire one night. My mom, my brother got into a fender bender. Someone hit him. And so I had a tire changing kit, thankfully, with me. We were able to change the tire. And they goofed up on our hotel rooms for my staff one night. And it's just, those are the kind of things that I typically am having to deal with. So once the conference is over, I don't really usually get to have fun. So I do really appreciate you supporting us again, Paul, and all coming to our show. I don't know how many times this is for you, Paul, including all of them. Not the other one I can't say. You guys can say it. I mean I can say it too, but I'm not going to.
Just let her lie. Let her lie, dude.
I can say Hive Dead as many times as I want to.
Stop it. Stop. For all our stakes. Clay, so more than likely no. So most of the time, those ticket booths are only open because they have to pay people to sit in them. They're only open on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And again, I'll say this. I'll say this here. So there will be another large expo happening at the Expo Center during hours on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so depending on when you're planning on coming, I would assume that the late morning to afternoon will be busier for them. So if you're planning on getting there in the morning and kind of being at our expo the whole day, I doubt you'll see much, if any, difference. We are not sharing anything except the large lobby, which most people don't spend any time in anyways. But if you do have any problems, I'll just quickly go over this. Yeah, Copper Canyon coffee is awesome. I actually have some to grind here before my kids go to bed for tomorrow morning for my cold brew. Anyways, so if you come in gate 1, most people are going to be parking here in lot A and lot N right here, as our expo is in South Wing A. There is a lot back here called lot E2 and E1, and there where the star is at here on the screen. This is the Skywalk. I've been promised by our awesome staff, Jessica, that will be working. And so you can walk up to it, and it's basically a moving escalator that will take you all the way and drop you basically into the giant lobby that we have. It'll drop you right there. And so that is an option if you'd like to park in the back. There's no price difference. Deparked is depark. So those are some options. So again, I just tell you, just for your awareness, not to freak you out. The parking should not. I mean, listen, they fit the state fair in here. They fit the Equip Expo. Parking should be fine. Yeah. I just want people to be aware there is another option to walk the Skywalk. So,
and we're being told they're going to be routed over into that, like you said, the E1, the E2, that north green lot up to the top of the map. They'll be going that way, and it shouldn't affect most of our folks, but it is a new logistic that we're having to deal with right now. So what we want to do is just run another conference, Chris and I, at the same time, so that we can just we can just dominate the entire building. And
did you tell them that we've also cloned each other for this feat?
Yeah, really. So no. Let's see. So Paul's been to all the 3 in Louisville. So thank you for joining us for that. We need to, we haven't got around to it yet, but we need to make some pins for like people who've been 3 years, 5 years.
I know.
All that kind of stuff. We'll do a better job. It's my fault. It's my fault. I mean, it's no one's fault but mine. I play Beekeeper too much. This conference is just taking over my life, and it's not a bad thing. It's just, I'm not really good at this stuff. I'm just having to figure it out as I go. Cloned your poor wives.
Okay. Real quick. This will fix Vic's question and Boro B here. So if you come in, if you kind of follow me here, I actually have another map made up, but this will be fine. So if you come in gate 1, and just in case you've never been there, the outer belt, not I-65, but the outer belt that kind of circles around, it goes counterclockwise only. So it's one way counterclockwise. So once you turn right, you're going right all the way around. So just hold your horses. Don't try to cut through. It does not work. Just go all the way around. But if you go around here, right after you get to the side of the building here, and again, bear with me here. I'm going to try to, see, it's not going to let me zoom in. But right here on the edge of South Wing C, there's this road right here. There is a sign in the grass that says South Wing Loading Docks. If you're just driving, you'll miss it. But so once you turn right, you'll turn left and you'll go here to lot D. And lot D is the vendor lot, as well as the lot you'll want to park in if you have stuff from Hilco. Hilco has their own dedicated loading location, and they'll have some signs up and some flags and some areas so you can know that they're there. But also, if you're trying to get into the loading docks themselves, all of that will be here in Lot D. Lot C is actually a grass field, and it's not a parking lot. They use it for parking lots for certain events, but it's not a parking lot. It's grass. So Lot D is where you'll want to park for that. So
There'll be a lot of vendors out there too. So, part of Lot D, which is huge, maybe part of Lot C if there's a lot there. But we're asking people not to park up close to the Expo building itself. Our staff is going to be doing that either this year, and it just makes it so much easier for people to get in there and load in and out. A customer trailer lot.
So Mark, you can park trailers in lot N and A, but you cannot wheel anything out of the front lobby. So if you're gonna be I mean this seriously, if you're gonna carry it all out, you can park your truck and trailer in the front, but the most likely you're gonna want to park back here in lot. Oh, sorry, wrong screen. You're gonna want to park back here in lot D.
Yeah, so. Lot C or lot D. But yeah, people do leave their trailers, put a lock on them and stuff like that. Yep. It's as safe as a place as you can probably find. This whole area's got a gate around the entire thing. We went in one night. Jeremy Lindsay, I think, forgot his jacket, and it was cold. And Jeremy's a thin guy.
No, it was the muffin delivery. I'll never forget that. It was
there was that too.
Okay,
but I think one time we went back for Jeremy's jacket or something, and they busted our rear ends because we went in there, grabbed it, came out, and they were waiting for us.
When we delivered the muffins the one time, we drove in, no problem, and no sooner did we open the door to pull the car in, no joke, if you've ever watched a speed racing or the Dukes of Hazzard, this security car came in on 2 tires and came squealing to a thing, and I thought it was all over for us. I wasn't. Luckily, it was security.
You were with me. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I would have protected you, Chris.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a whole thing. Yeah. Look, see, even Jeremy, they came sliding in. 4 guys jumped up. It was a real thing. They
were bored. They were looking for some fun, and we disappointed them, I think.
Yeah. Hold on. Someone had a question here. Oh, yeah. So this is a good one. So not to jump topics, but the app has some really, really, really awesome features. If you're into apps or have a smartphone, I really highly recommend you take 10 minutes and just explore it. Click all the buttons, look at it all, because as they say down below here, you can create your own agenda. And what's really neat about that is you can go through your speaker list. Let's say you love Bob Benny, love listening to soft-spoken Bob. You can click on Bob and actually see when he's talking, and you can add those to the agenda. If you really want to listen to Dr. David Peck, you can actually go to the Better Bee booth. There's a tongue twister. And they actually have some live stuff happening there. The Bee Supply, formerly Texas Bee Supply, they have a couple demos happening as well as several others. And those are all in the list, and you can actually add them to your agenda. And so you, the consumer, can pop your phone out in the morning and go, oh, hey, I wanted to do this and this and this and this, and it lays it all out for you. It's really awesome. It's really going to I believe it's going to revolutionize how people attend the expo. And the best part, I haven't even touched on this yet, is that several companies are doing exclusive giveaways to people in the app. You'll never know about them if you aren't in the app. So, and again, the app is free to any ticket holder. So if you don't have a ticket yet, if you don't have a ticket yet and you want to get the app and you want to be registered for a free giveaway, whatever, again, all you need to do is be a ticket holder. So,
just to circle back to the wagons, the ones that have rubber tires that are rated, that are really light, just not really like a dolly. There's no dollies, no wooden carts, nothing heavy duty. Something you go to like a water park with or something like that. Maybe something really lightweight. Yes, you are allowed to still use those. But if it's heavy duty and you're hauling some serious stuff that's going to bang into doors, they're going to totally tell you to not do that. So as far as the app goes, like we said earlier, we're planning on opening up tickets, and this is again what I recommend. And if you think that you're going to go more than likely the following year, get the early tickets, because even if you have to get get say, oh, I can't go, get a refund, that's still cheaper. Um, a lot cheaper than waiting till now to get a ticket, and it's a lot more
Yep.
expensive. Plus, we're planning to open up the app much, 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 much earlier.
Yep.
And as you guys learn how to use this app this year, um, you'll be more prepared to use it this following year. Have more time to prep with it. It'll help you guys organize the custom event that you want to for yourself. Meet up with people, and we are looking to do some unique stuff next year that we're probably going to be hiring at least part-time to full-time another position next year to help us with the expo, because there's a lot more that we could be doing with it that we're not, to make the experience better. As we're always want a better experience each year. No riding in other people's wagons, Brad. That's not allowed unless it's me. But I'm also travel size, and I don't think you are. So there's a difference. I'm not body shaming, but my dad says he was also my size at like 13 or 14 years old. So,
Hey, we should remind people that the tickets do go up again very soon. If you
at
are
the show.
correct, I was going to say if you're interested in going, it's well worth your time to pre-purchase those tickets ASAP versus waiting till the show. When I don't even know.
Hey James, yeah, if you want to bring your own water bottle in, you can. You can bring a backpack in if you want to have a water bottle. Bring your own canteen. There is some filling stations there. You can fill your own canteen there.
Yep.
Whatever you want to do.
If you pre-purchase your ticket up until Thursday, it's a $30 difference versus paying at the door. Because if you pay at the door, it's a process for us. It does take a lot of time and figure that out. So, Bob, why don't you email me if you haven't already? I will say there's. I'm trying to look at your name. Yeah, I do have some outstanding emails to get to some people.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you haven't emailed me yet, email me. We'll get you squared away with all that. And again, a reminder: refunds for tickets were finalized yesterday. So if you got your email in and you haven't heard back yesterday, then we'll get back to you.
But if a day or two.
Yep. But if you did send in today or moving forward, there are no further refunds on tickets.
So, and we will be sending out an email shortly, and we'll be sending probably one a week. So everyone be checking your promotions in your email. Check your spam. We will be sending you emails, and this will be updates. This will be for those of you who are part of the workshops or any of the dinners. This will have information about that. So you'll be getting an email on those subjects, as well as a general one about tickets and how to be a part of the Honey Bar and when this event's going on and all this kind of stuff. Speaking of unique things, here is the email to Corey, who is our sponsor coordinator. Corey's been doing a great job, but he also is coordinating all of the packing of the bags. We're doing that at the expo. And so anyone who's flying in, who's traveling in, or lives close by that wants to be a part of the show, is what makes it happen. You want to see some unique stuff. One of the perks that we're going to give these folks is we're going to give you your lanyard. And I've already talked to Corey about it with Corey, Chris. So it's not, if you have an issue with it, it's also Corey's fault, is what I'm saying.
Well, Corey has a lot of faults, but we'll just.
So if someone helps us pack the bags, we need about 30 people. There's a couple other jobs too. Then you'll be able to come in early on the next day, and which is Thursday. So Thursday morning, if you want to get breakfast and then come in, around 9 or something, 10 o'clock. We'll be, of course, bringing vendors in still. We'll be doing all this crazy stuff. Yeah. You'll be able to see some behind the scenes, and we really could use some help. And also, we might have a thing or two to give you as well. I've got some knickknacks from last year that are they're not really knickknacks, but they're we might have a giveaway or two for you.
Did that not work? Oh, thank goodness it works. Okay.
What are you
So
talking about?
in the chat, I just posted the pre-registration for the
A honey show.
honey show. Yeah. So if you, I was trying to get it up here. So if you're someone who has 3 or more items, and you would like to pre-register to enter the show a little early, please go ahead and go to the website. I linked it. This link will be in the email tomorrow. So please feel free to fill it out. Again, if you are entering 3 or more items, you'll be able to go through here and fill this out. And then we will be allowing people to come into the expo around 11:30. So that's 1 hour before the expo starts. That helps to kind of get people who have maybe 5 to 10 entries. It kind of gives them a little bit of a jump start.
It helps everybody,
and
really.
if it's chilly outside, you never know. Apparently Christmas is going to be like 60 degrees around here. You will be able to you'll be able to get in out of that chillier weather. So if you show up to the expo and you haven't filled this form out, or you didn't do it before January 1st, not good to go. So please fill this out if you are interested in doing it. And again, this is all for the Honey Show pre-registration. So
Yeah. So real quick before we get to that one,
yeah,
I just while we're on the honey show thing, be sure to fill that out because we're going to cut that off. What's the cutoff date on that again?
the first.
The first. So if you're wanting to pre-register your honey and get ahead of the line, you got to come in extra early for that. And that again will help you out, but also help the other people who aren't able to come in early because there won't be such a big line for everybody. And that worked really good last year. So if you're doing the honey show, definitely be sure to take advantage of that if you can. As far as this goes, we've tried to work with these people. We've tried to do a special thing for our conference on the parking. The only thing I know to recommend is just show up, buy it there
On Thursday. Yep.
on Thursday. And
if you get there early on Wednesday, they will not be there. Wednesday people and Tuesday people, barring something changing, you should just be able to drive in. Thursday morning, they'll be there to start charging. So,
yeah, and we've tried to do different things with them. They're not interested, and apparently we're not big enough. But maybe one of these days we will be, and then there'll be a different discussion. But today is not that day.
yes, sir.
Let's see here. So there was a couple other things to mention real quick. But definitely anyone. And we're looking for about 30 people, and it's going to be somewhat of a first come first serve thing. If we end up getting a lot of folks, and you just have to be able to be there for. This is Wednesday, so we need you to be able to come in on Wednesday. Reach out to Corey. This is his email for the expo, and he is coordinating that together. And we need you on Wednesday. So if you have the time to do that, it will be fun. And honestly, if you're looking possibly long-term to maybe join the expo staff, there's not a lot of positions for that, but there is some. And, some of our guys and gals aren't able to make it every single year. We've had 2 that weren't able to this year. Just life happens, conflicting schedules. And so if you're looking that you'd like to join in that crazy group of ours,
Crazy. Certifiably.
then definitely we could. We this is a kind of an evaluation period. That's what we did with Chris. We gave him the crap jobs, and we basically had him getting the taking care of the plumbing and the toilets and all kinds of stuff at that.
I guarded the front door the first year. And at one point, so I think it was Laurel came up into me and she goes, "I'm so sorry. You don't have to stand here the whole time." It's like, it's okay.
I know. Well, you did that. Jeremy Lindsay helped in the merch booth and folded shirts. And of course, both of you guys are doing much more important jobs than that now. But who would have ever expected that we'd be here? Definitely not me. Definitely not I. Excuse me, Mother. So there was a comment that just came up, Chris. You were wanting to get to it. What was it?
No. I just did. I got to. Oh, Grammy said that she always just pays for parking there. It's.
Yeah. And
Just do it.
yeah, it's the best way to do it. Unfortunately, I like to get the in and out pass just so that if I need to get out and grab some supplies or something, it's not a big deal.
When we do, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
When we do, oh,
And
we're out of Sharpies.
and I'll tell you, if you are familiar with if you are familiar with the KEC there, the Kentucky Expo Center, which is different than the Kentucky, what's the one downtown, the Convention Center? I think that's the KCC. So that we are in the Expo Center, which is south of town by the by the airport. We're like literally next to the airport. If you're in the one downtown, you're in the wrong location. So we're out of town there. So
Let's see. So several of our staff here, and we got Steve Amos in here.
Steve Amos,
I saw Randy Southard earlier, and
Yes, sir.
several others. And so a lot of the, and then there's Andrea and Paula. I don't know if they're both in. I know Paula was in earlier, but a lot of these folks I've met doing speaking engagements, and I talked to Steve in North Carolina and Randy Southard. And I try to shake them off because that's really like a pretty good strategy. I want someone who's going to just be really resilient and just, stick it out. And so I usually don't answer my texts, and I still don't. I'm just like, how far can I push this friendship? And they just keep coming back. So either they're not very smart, or they're a very loyal friend. And so I'm leaning for the last one because we've put our staff through the ringer, Chris. It's gotten a lot better the last year or so, and this year is definitely going to be the best. We've got some really good strategies. We have a lot more knowledge, and our team is excellent. And every year we blow away the minds of some of the people that work at the KEC and stuff, just because they see that huge line outside the building, and it's like a quarter mile plus long. And there's like, oh my gosh, this is going to be a logistical nightmare. And then we get everybody in like 15 minutes, and several other things that we do. Minutes. Yeah, we breeze through that line pretty quick.
It's fast. I don't want to overpromise.
All right, it's going to be an hour, guys. So bring your heavy jackets. No, we get you in pretty quick, and we've got some contingency plans. If everyone's out there, and it is just some terrible weather. So
good to leave it there. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying like it's heavy snow. I'm just saying even if it's just a light drizzle of rain or something, no one wants to be standing out in that. And that's something that you don't have to be out in that line. A lot of people find it fun, but you don't have to be out there. Just wait till the line just goes in. Well, the Expo allows someone to drop you off without paying any fees. Yeah, so if it's, I know that when it's the hotels, like say you're at the Crown Plaza or you're at one of the hotels that has a shuttle, I've never heard of those ever getting charged for that because I think they have some type of deal worked out with the hotels. Now, if it's an Uber, I have no idea how that works.
Yeah.
And I would suspect that it probably would.
That's a good, I'll get that answer and I'll throw it in the FAQ as well. Mm-hmm. Oh, here, Doug, I'm not shaming you. I'm just telling you, if you want to, or if you're interested in knowing all these answers.
Well, you shame me like all the time. How does Doug get a free pass?
Well, Doug looks cooler than you do. Look at that. Look at his photo there. He's biking. Look at him.
Well, I do the thumbs up thing.
Yeah, but you're not biking. You're not biking. Okay. So, anyways, Doug. All the information's here on the Expo page. If you go into the FAQ, which is under the About tab here, FAQ, and then it'll say the time of the doors are opening and closing every single day. So Thursday they open at 12 and they close at 12:30 and they close at 6. Friday the 9th they open at 8:30, close at 6, and then on the 10th Saturday they open at 8:30. The doors to the Expo Center close at 6, but the vendor hall closes at 5. So
I want to. We're gonna have to wrap this up here in about 10 minutes. But there's a couple things I want to remind folks. So one of the areas we really need some help with, even if you think that your state's covered, it's probably not. Our honey bar is for every attendee. It's free. It's part of the event. You get to go and enjoy sampling honeys from Ontario, Texas. We have star thistle honey from Colorado. We have some of Bob Benny sourwood. We have Kentucky sourwood. We have orange blossom. We have so many wildflowers and all of these honeys. But we need a lot more because there's some states that aren't even represented. And there are several states, common states, and we know we have like 100 people coming from those states where we only have one jar of honey entered in. And so if you have a 1 pound jar, glass is preferred, but we'll take a 1 pound um, little squeeze bottle too. This is a great looking jar right here. It's a little crystallized. If your honey is naturally crystallizing a little bit, but it's still decent to scoop, it's not hard at all. It's a very soft crystallized set at that point. Then that's okay to enter it in. But the honey swap is going to be not the honey swap, the honey bar, the North American honey bar. Thank you, Chris, for bringing that up. So we have the North American Honey and Beeswax Championship, which is our honey show, performed by the American Honey Show Training Council, and it is one of the biggest honey shows in the world. And we have just really cool items, not just honey, but cakes. We have folks that do quilting, that do different kinds of designs and beeswax candles, and it is just a phenomenal event. Even if you don't do that yourself, you have to go in there and see this stuff. And so that's our honey show. We have the honey swap, which we've done for years, and that is performed by Honeybee Tennessee, which is a nonprofit that really helps a lot of non-beekeepers who are mostly in schools and eventually get them into beekeeping. They've set up several bee yards in schools and I think some colleges here in Tennessee as well. And so they're really active at getting non-beekeepers educated on the importance of honeybees and the importance of honey. So definitely check out the Honeybee Tennessee booth and consider bringing some honey to swap, because it is really cool to go home with a ton of honey from different states and possibly countries as well. And then lastly, our newest addition this year is the North American Honey Bar, which is just a tasting experience for everybody. But we do need help from people all across North America. And so, but even if you're not from the United States, we have a couple of people from Australia wanting to bring honey. We're going to have, thank you, registration. Thank you very much. We need people to register. And that would be really awesome to get some of your awesome wildflower or maybe your cotton honey or whatever honey it is that you have at that show. So you got to have low standards, what Steve Amos says, to be a part of our team. Well, you have to be able to talk down low anyways.
Well, it's easy to talk down to you. All right, but I'm bump. Okay.
That's right. So unfortunately, we have a meeting to get to. That starts in 6 minutes. Isn't that right,
Yes,
Chris?
sir. That
All
is
right.
correct.
So I hate to rush everybody. I do appreciate you all hanging out with us this evening. We will be doing this before the expo again, so be on the lookout for that, likely on a Saturday evening or a Sunday evening. Watch out for that. Send us your questions. Send them to Chris, whatever you need, as long as it's not stupid. Check the website first, because I am trying to make Chris productive, and it's a hard job. Don't make me work more. A lot of times people can go to the FAQ of the website and get their questions answered. But if you can't, reach out to Chris.
Yep.
Make sure to apply for all the stuffs. We're getting close. We're very excited. We're loading up the trailer. It really gets surreal when we start organizing the trailer. Yeah, Laurel's freaking out a little bit. I feel great. I'm excited, but that's the difference between an extrovert and an introvert. And now I'm in trouble because I've let everyone know how the introvert feels.
Throw her under the bus.
Hey, Laurel. Your hair looks great. Anyways, so on that high note, guys, we've got to have a meeting with all the honey bar people and all the rest of the staff. And I want to try to rest my voice. So thank you all for coming. We'll see you in the next video. God bless. Merry Christmas. And we'll see you in the next video.
See you, everybody.